Hi, everyone. Before we head to breakouts, we have one more thing really quick. So first of all, let's hear another round of applause for our incredible speakers and panels and performers. I have the honor now of presenting to you our 2017 Own It Trailblazer Award. We do this every year. We give this award to a speaker who has cracked the glass ceiling and who lifts others up in the process. We've given this award to a trailblazing public servant, a STEM and tech superwoman, and a world-renowned athlete. This year, we are honored to present the award to an incredible young member of Congress. This new representative from Florida's 7th District beat her incumbent just this past election, and she's only one of 105 women in Congress in total, and one of only 30 women of color in Congress. She's an immigrant. She was born in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, just 3 years after the Vietnam War ended, when her family fled a refugee camp by boat. Incredibly, her family's boat was rescued by the United States Navy while at sea when it almost capsized. In the United States, her family settled in Northern Virginia, so close to where we are here, and her parents worked day and night to support their children. Our award recipient went to school with the help of Pell Grants and even attended Georgetown, where she graduated with an MS in Foreign Service. After 9/11, she went to work for the Department of Defense, where she received numerous awards for her distinguished service, including the Secretary of Defense Medal for Exceptional Civilian Service. She then became both an educator and a business professional in her home of Florida. After she decided to run for office this election in her district, she was endorsed by President Barack Obama, Vice President Joe Biden, and former Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords. She won the seat and became the first Vietnamese American woman ever elected to Congress. By now you probably have guessed who our award recipient is. The Congresswoman's distinguished service in the private and public sectors and her dedication to small businesses, to immigrant communities, to local nonprofits, to our veterans, to her district, inspire us deeply. Already in Congress, she has become a member of various bipartisan coalitions and working groups. She's spoken out against the recent influx in hate crimes and more. To us, she represents the future of our country, of Congress, and of politics. In a climate that is so unprecedented, frightening, toxic, and frankly scary, Congresswoman Stephanie Murphy is a beacon of light. She knows that compromise is difficult but possible. She knows what it's like to seek refuge in our nation and to excel in it. She's the first Vietnamese American woman in Congress, and she knows what it's like to be a woman in public service. She's a Hoya, she's a fighter, and we are incredibly grateful that in this moment of national turmoil, young women can look to her as a reflection of what is possible, what is necessary, and what is deep within all of us. Without further ado, please welcome to the stage this year's Own It Trailblazer Award recipient, Congresswoman Stephanie Murphy.
So thank you so much. I am just so honored to be accepting this Trailblazer Award, especially here at my alma mater, and in front of this amazing, fired up crowd of women. You know, I also looked up the definition of trailblazer, and it tells you that a trailblazer is a person who makes a new track through wild country. And as a young woman of color, I feel like I'm doing just that in the wildest country we know right now, the US Congress. While I'm so proud to represent Florida and to be the first Vietnamese American woman to serve in Congress, I'm used to blazing my own trail, whether that was in the private sector or at the Pentagon, and now in the US Congress. And in case you hadn't noticed, men tend to outnumber women in these boardrooms, situation rooms, and committee rooms. But we're changing that, aren't we? And blazing your own trail isn't easy. Running for Congress against a man who had been there for 24 years wasn't easy. And despite successful careers in business, in academia, and in national security, I was told I was too inexperienced, that I was in over my head, that I had bitten off more than I could chew. He went as far as to call me a nothing burger, and believe it or not, he even called me a house cat. And that seems a little ironic now with the pussy hat movement. But here are the two guiding principles that got me through this journey and all the other ones that I've faced. Well, the first one is I tell my 2-year-old, my 3-year-old daughter and my 6-year-old son that they shouldn't let what others say about them bring them down or stop them from going after a goal. And I feel strongly that I had to live by that example. And then secondly, I remember that anytime I'm discounted for my gender, my immigration status, my race, or any other factor that's out of my control, that I always do what I've always done, and that's to kill them with competence. We face an uncertain time over the next few years, but it's so important that voices like ours are heard, and that we lend a voice to those among us who are voiceless. I'll do my part in Congress to promote principles like diversity, equality, compassion, and opportunity for all. And I'll stand up to bigotry, racism, xenophobia, and sexism wherever I see it. And I encourage you all to find your own voice and to use it and to blaze your own trail through the wild country that we find in our nation right now. Because this is not the time for silence, it's the time for action. And together we will blaze a trail far and wide so that every girl and every woman is empowered to choose her own future and seize her own destiny. Thank you again. I'm eternally grateful. Thank you.